pages are blank. But I want you to notice here, this says primary navigation. So these are all the navigation links that are going to show up in my navigation bar. Thing is, I don't want people to actually see my ebook page on the navigation. So I'm going to put that here on hidden pages, just like that. And I drop that and I have that here. And I also certainly don't want them to see my download link. So I'm going to hide that from the navigation and I'm going to put that here as well. And now I have my download page and my ebook page hidden from the navigation. And very soon what we're going to have up here is another tab that you'll be able to click right here, and that's going to say your funnels, and then you're going to be able to organize your funnel pages. And imagine this saying landing page, upsell page, tripwire page, thank you page. And so you'll be able to handle your navigation pages on your website, the hidden pages that you might not want there, and then you'll click a tab and then you'll have different pages where you can actually collapse and open up different funnels from the different templates that we'll provide you. That's really more of an organizational feature. You can actually just build your funnels right now just by putting them in your hidden pages. All right, now let's put a navigation block up. Now when I go over to the blocks, I can either choose a navigation block here and just drag it over, or I can choose one from the prototypes. So I'm going to pull a prototype up just like this. I'm going to drag that over there like that. And if you notice, it said first link, second link, third link, fourth link, and fifth link. And it automatically just populated that based on my pages here. Now look at this. If I move my support above the media, it switches it. And if I move it back, it goes just like that. Now, the other thing is I don't want the media on my navigation. I wanted that to be a sub-navigation under contacts. So how would we do that? Well, we simply just indent this in like that. And now I have the media as a drop down under contacts. All right. We'd have to see that functionality on a page preview. Okay. But that's pretty much how that works to just build a menu. Now, the other thing you're noticing is I have the logo here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click over to here. It opens up my style editor. Okay, I'm going to click on functionality. I'm going to click browse, and I'm going to look on my hard drive for a logo. And I'm just going to pull this GroovePages logo here and just open that up. We're going to load that into my library here. And I'm just going to click select, and I'm going to click update, and that puts my logo in just like that. Now let's say I want to change the background of this entire section. What I can do is I can go here and just click on background, and we're going to have a full color picker here for you. But right now we have the different shades of the color working like this. We're going to have a little thing to allow you to put in one of the 16 million colors, but let's assume I wanted to make this a color pink in the background like that. And then I would do the same thing here with this menu section here. I would select the menu, and then I would change that background as well to pink, just like that. But I'm going to click on this undo button here, and we could always go back at any time and change things. Now I want to show you one more thing about these menus. The thing is, if I want to have an external link, right? Let's say my support, I want to go to my help desk and I don't want it to actually go to a page on the website. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this page right here, because it's not really a page, right? It's maybe I'm using something like Zendesk, and I don't actually need a page for support. And now the support page is gone. But what if I want to link that to an external page and not necessarily a page that's on this website? Well, what we do is we go to this menu right here, and then I go to functionality. And what I can do is I can add an external link. And how many external links do I want? Well, if I put 2, then I get these examples here like this, but I just want one external link at this time. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put my help desk link in here, and I'm going to name it support. And I'm going to tell that to open in a new window. Then I click update, and just like that, I now have an external link that'll now go to my help desk, where these actually go to pages within the website. And again, this goes to an external page. Okay, I'm going to open up the style editor and just let you know 2 things that will happen on every style editor. You will see here ways to change the text, the background, the border, spacing, sizing, the shadow, and any custom CSS if you had a super web designer that wanted to do some ninja stuff. And anything that needs functionality like a pop-up or that menu or a countdown timer or a carousel, it will then have a functionality tab. Most things won't. Most things will only be design. Some things will have functionality if you need to add a link to it or upload an image, or this is dynamic based on the particular thing that you choose. If it was a countdown timer, which we're going to display, you will get things that'll say pick a date and things like that. So let's close that and move on. Okay, so now I'm going to start building the website. And again, remember, we use blocks to just build the website. Now, I have all of these different types of wireframe blocks, which again, wireframes take all of the design out of it and let us just focus on the layout. And if I want, I can use the premium design blocks. Right now, we have about 75 of them. And in about a couple of weeks, there will be a couple of hundred. And then we already have about 1,000 on back order. And so you can expect, over a year, just in terms of blocks, we may have over 2,000 different blocks that are featured with tags and different ways to organize them and things like that. But right now, let's go. And let's see, I might want to put an alert bar up at the top, right? With a little countdown timer. So I'm just going to drag that right above here like that. And just like that, we get our alert bar. So I'm going to choose a cover section here, and I'm going to choose this one right here. I kind of like the way this one looks, and I'm going to drag it here. Now, if at any time I feel that I put something in the wrong place, or I want to see how it looks in a different place, I can just grab the drag handle, and if I want to put it back, I just drag it back into position just like that. So next thing is, I like to always put a footer in. So let's take a look. I have my wireframe footers, and these are all alphabetical. So I can look at a footer like this that I can just add any color to it that I want by dragging it down here like that. And now I have a footer here. Or if I something over like that, either one of those. All right, I'm going to delete this one here. I kind of like this colorful one here. Let's continue to build the site out with some of these blocks. Let's add a call to action. I'll do something like here with a prototype block. Let's add another one the opposite way like that. Let's add some features. Put something like that just there like that. Let's add some testimonials. Okay, I kind of like this one here, and this is what I would call a hero testimonial. I'll put that one right here just like that. Okay, let's go back to the wireframes. Let's add some things like a contact us form. I'm going to show you how cool the Google Map section of this is. We're going to just put a map section in. We could order these things around later. Remember I told you all we have to do is just grab these drag handles. We can position these things anywhere we like, but for right now we're just going to start putting the stacks. Let's put in a pricing form down here towards the bottom. Let's do one of these triple section pricing forms. I like something just like that, and let's put in a countdown timer. So I kind of like this one here with the round section, so we'll just drop that in. Let's also put in a form over here, and I'm going to put in this one right here just like that. And finally we'll put in a team, like who's responsible for this in the company, and who built it and those types of things. Basically what we've done here is we've stacked all of the different blocks so that we can start designing the sites and adding colors and different things like that. There's a couple of more things that we can do here. Let me show you how we can now click on this block here, and I can click on functionality, and I can put in an address, and that's my old address in San Diego. And you'll see just like that, a map comes up with San Diego, just like that. Now that might be good if you want to put your map address in for your company or anything like that. Okay, let's move on. If I want to change the color of a section, I have a couple of different ways that I can do that. Number one, I can just take one of these prototype blocks here, and I can change the background section to match something like we have over here. Or we can just change that section completely to maybe be like white. Okay, and the same thing here. This section here, I can go here and I can see that it already has a background color, but if I wanted to change it to a dark shade of red, I would do something just like that. Now the next thing I want to go over is what happens when you see with a lot of different editors out there, a lot of different softwares, you're always getting these grab handles, you're fighting with them. Well, don't worry. With ours, you simply click right here and then it'll tell you where you are in what's known as the dome tree. And if it's not the one you want, you can just hit the up button and it tells you the current one that you're in. We're in the container. And if we want to move up to this one, I can either click on it or just move up. And now it shows me the parent frame to that, and I click that, and now I'm in that frame. And if I want to work on this one, any of the stylings I can do here, like again, change the background. This is going to look weird, but if I wanted to just change the background of this, I could do that. Certainly I don't want to do that. And if I want to move up from this one, I just go like this, and now I'm in the very top section, just like that. So that's one of the things that you don't get with a lot of other softwares, are these, you get these grab handles that you're always fighting with your cursor. With ours, you just click in. If it's not the one you want, you can just move up through the dome tree just like that. Okay, now I know I'm not building the most gorgeous site, I'm just picking random colors, but let's talk about changing the photograph here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this, and I know I'm in the right element. It says image, so I'm going to click on functionality, and I'm going to click browse. And now I already have a picture of myself here, so I'm just going to click on this one and click select, and I'm going to click update, and just like that we see my picture here. Now if I wanted to change this one here, I would just pick on this one here, just like that. Click on functionality. I have a second picture of myself here that I preloaded for this demo. I click select and update, and just like that we have our picture loaded. Okay, so what we've done here is basically show you how to add blocks and different things like this, but I was just dragging things at random and just showing you some couple of things. I want to show you more about the power that this can do more in line with something that is more thought out, or like what it would be like with a template or something like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move over to something that I've been working on so that you can see what happens when you actually give something a little bit of TLC. So I'm just going to go over here and I'm going to close this. And now you're seeing basically what I used GroovePages to create the website GroovePages. So this is a template before I did all the work that you're actually seeing now. I had it laid out and I brought over some different things, and I used some elements from some previous websites as placeholders that I had, like you're seeing here, some GrooveCart images that we had in the past. But you can see how gorgeous a website can be made with GroovePages when you do a little bit of TLC to it. So I'm going to go over the core elements to design a page of what you're seeing here. I'm just going to scroll all the way back up to the top. So let's get started and let me show you some cool features. Okay, first, just a reminder, anything that has a drag handle, you just hover over the element and you'll see a drag handle like this. You click on the drag handle and then you'll see a ghost image where you can put it and how it's going to look. And if you want to move it back, you just grab it and put it back. That goes for anything on the palette that you're working with. You grab the grab handle and you just move it anywhere you want. Also, I want to let you know, if you're looking to work with anything that you're going to need twice, there's a little clone icon here. You just click clone and it'll add it as a clone. And if you want to delete that, you just click on the trash can like that. Again, that works for anything that you can hover over. If you want a full section, you just move up the dome tree just like this. And if you wanted to clone that section, you just click clone. If you want to delete that, make sure everything is highlighted and you just trash it and it's gone like that. That works for any single thing that you want to do. If I want to clone this image, I click clone. If I want to clone the headline, I click clone. If I want to clone an entire section, I just click just like that and I've recreated the entire section, and now I can drag it and move it to another section if I want. So you have pretty cool control of working around things, dragging and dropping and moving and deleting and manipulating. All right, let's talk about something that's very important. That's working with text, right? So what you do is you simply click on the section that you want to work on. You click on the text icon, and that opens up the editor. Now, inside the editor, you can select your color picker and things like that. You've got your font sizes, you've got your font weight, your different fonts here, like this that you can scroll through. And then it's just grabbing what you want and typing what you want right here, just like that. Okay, I'm just gonna Control Z and just go back. Of course, we can also click on this and then go over to the side component, and we can look at our fonts over here, and we could change our fonts over here. We can change the font color here. If I want to make that font, let's say red, which I wouldn't, I would just do that. And if I want to go back, I can just hit that little back button like that. We can do different things like drop shadowing, all the different things, making the text, left or center or right, all those types of things, the bold. I think you get the point. It's what you see is what you get font editor. So you can do anything that you want to make these fonts look absolutely gorgeous. And that goes for text anywhere that you see on the page. You can either use the inline editor here, and this is going to be full WYSIWYG soon. We're actually moving this bar up to the top so it gets out of your way, and it's going to be stuck up here. And then what you type is going to be, exactly the way you're going to see it. It's not going to have to reset it or anything like that. All right, let's create pop-ups. Now all you got to do is click Create Pop-Up. So there are 3 different types of pop-ups. One is a standard pop-up, and that's when they click on a button on a page, it'll open the pop-up. Then you have an entry pop-up, and when you do that, you basically say what page you want it to show up on. Do you want it to show on every visit? And how long do you want it to delay? And there's an exit pop-up. And the exit pop-up, you say what page you want it to show on and whether or not it shows on every visit or only on the first visit. I'm going to leave it on every visit for now. So let's create an exit pop-up. We're going to call that exit pop-up demo. And that's an exit pop-up to show on my pricing page. And I'm going to choose this one right here. And this would say, hey, wait, before you go, get this bonus or whatever the case is. And we hit save. Now we go into the pop-ups and we're going to click create new pop-up again. And now I'm going to create a button pop-up, I'm going to call this. And that's we're going to leave as a standard pop-up. Okay. And I want it on the pricing page, and I'm going to choose this one over here, a slightly different pop-up. Okay, just like that, we click save and exit. Now, I'm going to link that to this button just for this example. I click on functionality and I choose the text, download now. I can link to what? I want to link to a pop-up, and I choose the pop-up that we just made. I click update. And let's save. And once we do that, in a couple of seconds, we're going to get our little notification here. Once that's done, I'm going to click preview. Now we'll notice when I go to exit, we have our exit pop-up that we chose. And when somebody goes to click a button, we'll have the other pop-up here that we chose. That's very, very simple how you add pop-ups to your site. Let's close the preview. Okay, the next thing I want to go over are backgrounds. Now you might see a section that maybe looks a little bland. Okay, now obviously I can just click on this section that I want to work on, and my style editor comes up. Now I can give it another color. Sometimes you just might want to change the color. Maybe I want to make it a light blue, something like this, or maybe a different shade of gray, like a light gray. That might look pretty good. Maybe a little bit lighter, like this. I can move that up just a little bit. We also have transparency, which is a really, really cool feature. I'm going to show you that in just a minute. We also have a color picker here. So if you want to have a custom color picker, you can just do that as well. But first, let me show you something a little bit more exciting. I'm actually going to change, instead of the background, I'm going to put an image there. So I'm going to click here and get out of the color picker and now change the background image. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click browse. And we have a stock photo library that you could search anything you want, houses, cars, anything. I'm just going to look actually for a background image and just type in background and see what comes up. Now, I happen to know that I have some dark text over there, so I'm going to use a light background image in this particular case. Let's see how this looks here. We'll just choose this. So that's going to now load up into my library. It'll take just a sec. Okay, and now we click select, and it's now my background image. And now you see, just like that, I've added a background image. That's pretty cool, right? All right, next is countdown timers. This has a countdown timer here, but remember, I can go into my block section here, and I have different types of countdowns that I could just drag on here. And I also have them in the premium blocks as well. Okay, and I also have them in the elements. If I just don't want a whole section pre-designed, I can just come over here and just scroll down until I see a countdown, and I can drag a countdown timer anywhere that I want onto here, and I can style it. But we have these pre-styled for you, so better to use those. So let's just delete this, and I'm going to show you how this countdown timer works. Okay, what we want to do when we're working on anything that has a function is we need to realize that when it says stylable element, that means the only thing that works is the styles, the colors. There's no functionality here. So what we do is we move up the dome tree until we get to where it says countdown timer, like that. Or we can just click out here and see if we can sometimes get it. It's a little tough. That's why we have this thing. If you've ever fought with other page builders, it's hard to get exactly what you want. We have it where you can just move up here, and we're adding it where you can just click here to make it real easy, just clicking on the dome tree. Now, this is not rocket science, right? We click on functionality and we say, what type of countdown timer do we want? A fixed countdown timer, and that goes to a certain date. A daily countdown timer, and that means we can set it to expire every night at midnight, so we don't have to log in and change it, right? If we say something like guaranteed through midnight tonight, it'll always count down every day, it'll reset the clock. And then a landing is something that you would maybe use on an upsell, where basically you're saying there's 1 hour to purchase this, or on a checkout page where you say that this coupon code is good for 15 minutes, or whatever the case is. This is basically a count, literally a countdown from a starting point of like 1 hour and going to 0, where this is a countdown timer that counts down to a date. So that's the traditional one. Let's just use that for right now. So let's choose our date. Let's say we want to count this down to New Year's Eve, December 31st. And we would then set our countdown timer. Let's say we want that to go off for any particular reason at noon that day, right? For whatever the case may be. So we go to 12 and we change the time to 12 p.m. just like that. And we hit update, and what you're going to notice is it actually will start the countdown timer right before our eyes. What's also cool is we can change the time zones as well, and that'll actually affect how much time is left for the countdown as well. You just see right there that actually changed. So let's go back to -5 and click that there, and now the time will be a little bit different. And finally, what happens when the countdown timer is done? Nothing. We can redirect to a page that's in the site. We can go to an external URL, or we can just add another 24 hours and it'll just automatically add 24 hours every single day for you. That's pretty cool. Not many people have the functionality that we have. This is really thought out countdown timer stuff. Okay, let's move on. Let me show you some things that we have here in some of our blocks. So I'm going to go down to forms, and I'm going to show you that we have some blocks here that have things like iPhones. And I can drag that here. And you'll also notice that we also had one here on the page just as well. I just got to scroll down a little bit right here. Now, I don't want to change this image because I actually like it. That's why I just dragged another block onto the template. So I'm going to show you the example here and going back up to that block. So now what I can do is I can click here and you see it says functionality. So I'm going to choose what type of iPhone that we want here, light or dark. I like the dark, let's keep it that way. And let's just open up an image here and let's just take this cat from my library and just select it. Now I can go into the stock photos and search for anything, but to move this a little bit quicker, I just pick this cat. And I could link this if I want to link it to a pop-up or a block on this page or a page in the site or a URL, but let's just for right now do nothing and click update. And there you go, I've got the cat right in my iPhone. So check this out, I can also do that with different things that I can drag onto the canvas, like a desktop computer, a laptop, a tablet, vertical tablet, an iPhone, an Apple Watch, or even a browser. So that is something that you're not going to find in many page builders, and I think that's a pretty cool thing to really spice up your page, putting a laptop and then having a screenshot of your product. There are other sites out there like smartmockups.com that charge like $29 a month just to have a feature that does that. We have it built in right into the page builder for free for you. Right now, next, let's say I needed to create my own thing with say 3 columns or 4 columns. Well, what I would do is I would go over to the blocks and I would click on an empty block and I say how many different things do I want? 1 row or just completely empty if I was going to add my own embed codes. 2 columns, 3 columns, 5 columns, 4 columns, etc. So I'm just going to pull over a 3-column block just for this example right here, just like that. And now it shows me that these are empty and I can add anything I want in them. So generally what you drag in here is either a component that maybe you've cloned. So I can clone this and then I can take this and I can just move it into one of those little blocks right there like that. Or I'll get an element out of here. Maybe I want to add a headline, so I'll just drop that there. Or maybe I want to drag a YouTube video, so I would drag that in there, or an image, or any, a map, or anything like that. That's basically how that works. Now I'm making that site look ugly, so I'm going to delete that. I just wanted to show you how that works. Now, speaking of YouTube videos, once you have a video on your page, when you click it, you simply go over to the functionality and then you put the ID of the video that you get from YouTube right there, and it'll automatically change it on the page for you. But let's say I feel that this video is just a little bit too big for me right now. Right now it's going full width. So what I would do is I'd go back to the design and I would click on the sizing and go away from full width. And I want it relative to this parent frame. And I'm just going to drag this and There you go. I think that actually looks a little bit better, don't you? You see, GroovePages was designed for you to do anything that you want to your pages and your elements in a simple, easy way, so that you can do your text, your backgrounds, borders, spacing, sizing, drop shadows. Even if you wanted to add some custom attributes, which is way above my pay grade. But if I wanted my designer to do something ninja, he could just come in here and do anything that can be done on a web page can be done here. Like I said, GroovePages out of the box does everything I'll ever need. Okay, let's move on. Let's go down to this FAQ section that we have down here. So down at the bottom of the page, I have some FAQs, or frequently asked questions. Basically what these are what's known here as collapses. I just basically grab these collapses, drop them in like this, and then I style them with the border. You know, I say what kind of border that I want, what font color do I want, and how big is the font for this and whatnot. But I saved some time here. We have that done. I wanted to basically show you how that could look. And in order to edit that, we just move up to where it says collapse. And then there's functionality here, and I can basically say what does the text say, and then I click the update, and we're all set. Oh, let me show you something else that's cool. You know those carousels that spin images on your page, usually up at the header? So let's go up to the header. Now this is a site that is already designed, so I wouldn't be putting it up here because I have it the way that I want. But let's just say I wanted an image slider. What I do is I go to my elements, and as you can see, I have things like tab sections, lists, all these different things like the collapse we just went over. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull in an image carousel. Round images, you know how you get a social media icon, but I'm going to pull in this carousel right here, and I'm just going to put that right there, just like that. And I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to now say that I want these images to loop. I want them to autoplay every, let's say, 2 seconds, like that. And I want 4 slides, and now I put how many different images I want. I like the butterfly. Let's select that. Over here, let's do the dog, little puppy. Over here, we have the kitten, and then let's do the car. And just like that, when I click update, we now have a carousel that will automatically move to these specifications. It has the little handles to go back like that, obviously when it's in live preview, but I think you get the point. So that's pretty cool. Okay, I'm going to delete this again because I don't want this on my page. I'm just showing you some demo stuff. Okay, let me show you something else that's pretty cool. Number one is if I wanted to style a button. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to my pages. I have my pricing page here, and I want to show you something that if I wanted to change this color, which I wouldn't because I really like it, but let's just say that I liked this color to be yellow with black text. Well, the first thing I would do is go to the text, and I would make it black. And then I would go to the color, and I would make it yellow. And just like that, I have a yellow button with black text. The only thing is I don't feel like styling these things over and over again. So check this out. I just go to my global styles while this is highlighted, and I'm going to create a new style, and I'm going to call that yellow black button. And I'm going to click check, and check this out. I go over to this button and I select it, and I just click global styles and I say yellow black button. I go to this one, and I go to the styles and I say yellow black button. And just like that. Now I can do that if I've got different countdown timers or fonts or sections or anything like that. That is a pretty cool feature, and I think it's absolutely awesome. Now if I want to go back to the previous styles, I just click the undo button 3 times. Well, that's like that. And now I've got it back the way that I want with my undo button. And of course, remember, I'm not even saving. I have all of my revisions that it's saving every time I'm making a change that I can go back. Pretty cool. Okay. Oh, one other thing we're going to have very soon is any of these sections that you have is going to have a little heart here for favorites. Now, we do have the ability to save anything that you're working on as a template so that you can reuse the site again. But we know that you also may want this entire block section. So we're going to put a little heart here that's going to add that to your favorites. And when you go over here, you're going to see something called favorites, and you'll just go in there and you'll be able to see a pre-styled block for you. Now, why that's important is, let's say you have your site footer and you have, for example, let me show you, we pull up a footer, and let's say you went in here and you worked on all of your different links, and you've linked all this stuff to your social media, your opt-in form, but now you have 9 pages on your site. You don't want to rebuild this over and over. What you're going to do is just click the heart button right here, and then you can drag it onto every other page. Okay, I touched on this before, but if you have a designer that wants to do anything ninja, right? All you simply do is have them go to any element or any section or any part of the place that they want. Remember, you have full source code here of everything on the page, and every one of these blocks here also has source code, but we're going to be actually giving you a little code thing editor right here. If you want to get the code literally down to a different section, you can do that. But even better, you wouldn't even need to go into the code. Like I said, the way we do it, you just go to custom attributes, and this has everything that a Ninja designer would need. They can give it an attribute, a class, and then say what it basically does, and then they put the CSS into here just like that, and it's all taken care of. Now, I'm not going to mess with any of that, and you can have anything done. Basically, if you want your page to look anything that's possible with current web standards, it can be done just by simply clicking on that custom attributes feature right there. Let's say that you needed to add some custom code. Well, first of all, over here you have your site settings where you could add your Google Analytics, and to the header, the body for your entire site, you can do your favicon here. And for each individual page, you just come over here and you click on settings, and that's where you can do your SEO for your title, your meta keywords and description. You can add tracking codes into your header, your body, and we even have the open graph for social sharing. That's a cool feature. You'll have to look that up. That'll be in our tutorials, but that is a really cool feature to make your links look better when they show up on Skype or Facebook Messenger or Facebook or iMessage or anything like that. It shows what you want to see when somebody drops a link. But what I want to show you is if you want to put a custom embed somewhere on the page, you simply go into your elements, and then you scroll down here to where it says custom embed, and you simply drag that onto the palette anywhere that you want it. Okay, if you wanted it here, just like that. Now, what is custom embed? That really all depends on any external site that you're using that wants to put, some type of embed code. Sometimes you have those sites that say somebody just bought 5 minutes ago, and they say add this custom embed code on your site. Once that's there, I'm going to delete this one here because we have this one. You simply click on it, click on the gear, and that opens up here where you would put your custom code, whatever that code might be. And when you're done, you would hit save. I'm going to click cancel because we don't need that. There's no code in there right now. So I'm just going to click the trash and get rid of that. And I want to show you one more thing about linking buttons. So I've got my pricing links. Now let's say if this was my dollar trial, I would just go into GrooveSell and get my link for my dollar trial. I would click here. And then I would say this links to a URL, and then I would just pop in my URL here for my product. Maybe I want that opening in a new tab, and I hit update. Now, GrooveSell also does multi-price checkout. So just for an example, I'm going to show you that. I'm going to choose that for this one here. Let's just change that to get started today. Let's now go over to this one here, do the same thing. And I'm going to have that one go to a multi-price checkout just to show you some features that you can do with GrooveSell. We'll have that open in a new page as well. We click update and we're all set. So let's save that, wait for our little confirmation here, and once that's done, we click preview. And I'm going to go down to the pricing section now once this page loads here. And I'm going to click get started today. And you're going to notice that this is a trial here, and we have our checkout. So that's how you would link to like a shopping cart or something. And this one you're going to notice in GrooveSell, I have a multi-price checkout form. This is an example of one of our checkout forms. And obviously this is just some demo stuff that I made up for you. But that's how you would link a checkout page to a button or anything to a button. Let's get out of our preview mode here and go back to the builder. If you wanted to link something to text on a page, well, you would just select the text like that and click the hyperlink button there just like that and insert your URL that way. Okay, and that's pretty much it. So just to let you know some of the things that we have coming soon that aren't in the beta right now, but will be coming in the next couple of weeks, some things maybe a month or two. We're going to be having row and column grabs so that you can just click here and stretch these columns. And if they're multi-column layouts, you'll be able to pull them and change them by percentages. We're going to have tons of integrations with every email platform that there is out there and Zapier and all those different things. We're going to have tons of designer blocks that you'll see over here. We're just adding more and more as time goes on. We have plenty for you to get started with. We have over 450 in the back. We have 2 full-time designers working on this. So again, as time goes on, we will never stop adding different templates, pages, and funnels for you. We're even adding a blog feature so that you won't need WordPress, you can go fully off WordPress. And in early 2020, we're going to have split testing. So right now we're in beta, but I wanted to show you where we're going, what you can do now, and the promise of what GroovePages can do. And that's the GroovePages beta. I'm Mike Filsaime, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Hi, my name is Mike Filsaime. I am the CEO and co-founder of Groove Digital. And today what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through the GroovePages app and show you how to build a page or a website very quickly with GroovePages. The first thing you'll notice when you log in is a list of the current websites that you have here. I just have one right now. Over here is where you'll be able to click to go through our different apps. Right now it's just GroovePages and GrooveSell. I'm going to close that. But let's jump right in and let's start building a website. Okay, so I'm going to click New Site, click on Blank Template, and let's start building a site from scratch. And we're going to show you how easy this is. Okay, and as you can see, it's a little bit empty here. This is our palette, as you can see what our website is going to look like. And we haven't put anything on there just yet. Let's jump in and now let's build an actual page, in fact, an entire website. And this is going to get exciting. So the first thing we want to go over here is our blocks, elements, pages, and pop-ups. So let's talk about blocks. The first thing that we have here are wireframe blocks and premium blocks. And I'm going to click on all blocks here. And as you can see, the wireframe blocks are meant for you to be able to drag things over to the canvas just like this, so that you can remove all of the colors and background images and you can just focus just on the layout of your website. And the premium design blocks are actual designer blocks. These are blocks that when you pull them over, they actually have images and designs, so you can pick from different things and just pull them over and build a website that way. So the choice is up to you, or you could mix and match. I'm going to delete this in just a minute, but basically I want to talk to you about our design philosophy with this. Now, GroovePages is a powerful yet easy to use visual page, website, and funnel design tool. And it's built with the philosophy of simplicity. We want to deliver a truly visual design experience that lets you create fully functional web pages, funnels, and sites without having to write any code. Now, GroovePages works on the concept of stacking predefined block sections to build fully coded and hosted web pages incredibly fast and easy. It's actually very natural and intuitive. So our design philosophy is to allow you to find everything that you need here